Number 10. Sky Ranger's Park Flyer RC Airplane. This 2007 remote-controlled airplane had a bad habit of blowing up. Seriously. Even more unfortunately, the planes were launched by hand, so when the planes blew up, they often blew up next to the kids' heads. There were 45 reports of airplanes exploding, including 22 reports of consumers experiencing temporary ear pain or hearing being affected. They were unsurprisingly recalled. Number 9. Kite Tube. The Kite Tube was a large inflatable tube with a cover on it that looked like a giant flying disc and was intended to be towed behind a powerboat. When the rider pulled up on the edges, it became airborne to heights of up to 15 feet. Unfortunately, it didn't have any real safeguards to prevent the rider from falling off, and at least 2 people died using them before the company that produced it was forced to recall the Kite Tube and go out of business. Number 8. Sky Dancers. Sky Dancers were constructed of a pull string base and a doll with foam wings. When the doll was inserted into the base and the string pulled, the doll would launch into the air, spinning its wings like a propeller as it flew. They rocketed randomly from the base at great velocity, and while they may have twirled to the ground, they didn't float gently. Gallup, the manufacturer, has received 170 reports of the dolls striking children and adults, resulting in 150 reports of injuries. They include eye injuries, including scratched corneas, and incidents of temporary blindness, broken teeth, a mild concussion, a broken rib, and facial lacerations that required stitches. The Sky Dancers were recalled in 2000. Number 7. Lawn Darts. Lawn darts is a lawn game for 2 players or teams. A lawn dart set usually included 4 large darts and 2 targets. The darts were heavy, solid pieces of metal that could easily impale someone. It's been determined that they were responsible for sending almost 7,000 people to the hospital for injuries, most of them kids. In April 1987, 7-year-old Michelle Snow was killed by a lawn dart thrown by one of her brother's playmates in the backyard of their home in Riverside, California. Michelle's father, David, began a crusade to get lawn darts banned. Finally, these lethal toys of death were banned in the United States on December 19, 1988 by the Consumer Product Safety Commission. Number 6. Splash-Off Water Rockets. The Splash-Off Water Rocket is made of red, yellow, and clear plastic. To launch the rocket, water from a garden hose is fed through a tube into the launch pad. When the launcher is filled with water, a launch ring is pressed down to execute liftoff. Sadly, at least 37 cases were reported of the rocket exploding from the pressure or otherwise flying off in unpredictable directions, causing lacerations to the hands and face. Number 5. Austin Magic Pistol. In the case of the Austin Magic Pistol, which was a very popular toy in the late 1940s, you could actually do a bit of real-world violence with it as well. The Magic Pistol used calcium carbide, a chemical that undergoes a huge explosive reaction when mixed with water to propel ping-pong balls out of the muzzle at a terrifying rate of speed. The fireball that this toy created was so dangerous that they were rapidly taken off the market. Number 4. Gilbert Chemistry Set. Among the 56 chemicals included in the Gilbert Chemistry Set was some potentially deadly stuff, like potassium permanganate, which besides being poisonous, has been known to make things catch fire, or ammonium nitrate, the same chemical that the US wants to regulate now because it's used in homemade bombs. All that came in the same box. Number 3. Easy Bake Oven. The popularity of the Easy Bake Oven, which uses a real heating element to actually bake dessert items, may have reached its apex in 2006. The maker of the Easy Bake Oven, Hasbro, was forced to recall 1 million of their plastic models when it was discovered that a design flaw allowed the oven to easily trap and severely burn children's tiny little fingers. The ovens could reach temperatures of up to 200 degrees Celsius or 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Also, nearly 250 incidents were reported, including 16 cases of second or third degree burns. One unlucky 5-year-old girl was even forced to undergo a partial finger amputation. Number 2. CSI Fingerprint Examination Kit. Marketed off the popular crime show, CSI Fingerprint Examination Kits allowed kids to snap on latex gloves and collect incriminating play evidence, most notably by dusting for fingerprints. Unfortunately, the fingerprint dust that came with the kit also contained a real-life occupational hazard, one of the deadliest forms of asbestos. The fingerprint powder was found to contain up to 7% asbestos, the variety of which has been proven to be capable of causing lung cancer later in life from only one single exposure. Not surprisingly, the toy manufacturer responsible for this product went bankrupt. Number 1. Atomic Energy Lab. The Atomic Energy Lab kit, produced by the American Basic Science Club, came with real samples of uranium, which is radioactive, and radium, which is 1,000,000 times more radioactive than uranium. Since the mere presence of radioactive material in a children's product clearly wasn't insane enough, some of the experiments detailed in the manual also required kids to handle blocks of dry ice. Dry ice, by the way, has a temperature of -109.3 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's recommended that it only be handled while wearing gloves. None were included. There was also one version of the toy produced by A.C. Gilbert Company, which came with radioactive samples and even a little Geiger counter that kids could use to measure the amount of radiation left in their bodies after each play session. Although short-term exposure to the radiation sources in the kit would have been fine, ingesting any of them was a one-way ticket to cancer. The kit was pulled off the market in just a few years. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more Top 10 videos. Also, check out our previous video.